Let's make some noise. Come on.
That's right, Nick Foles. Let's make some noise. Come on, everybody. Welcome back to another fun-filled episode of The Final Word. It's your boy, MattyB, here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Your Wednesday hump day edition of the program, as we are smack dab in the middle of yet another exciting Philadelphia sports week, and got a lot of stuff to get into tonight. Yes, we're going to continue the autopsy on the 2025 Philadelphia Eagles, as well as what the show title indicates, the hot stove is heating up. Not only is Kyle Schwarber off the board, but so is another high-priced free agent dropping today on his way to the American League. We'll get you caught up in all the comings and goings in Major League Baseball, to include the Rule 5 draft that happened today. Some names that the Phillies, some names that I was really excited about are no longer Phillies. Prospects gone on their way out of town. So we'll get into that tonight. We're going to your day in Philadelphia sports history. Adjust your chair, and your of the night segment, as well as your card review. God damn, I got those stuff set up before I start the show. So big night on the program tonight, as we're going to try to get you ready for the weekend. Well, not quite the weekend. We're a little farther off from the weekend, but we're midweek. We're at that midweek point. Let me get you over that hump, as I know how to do. Phone lines are open, as the link now is in the stream. If you guys want to hop on and talk with me personally, you can. Just click on that link that showed up on any of the social media platforms that you're watching this on. It'll take you backstage, and then I'll bring you up. All I need to do is be able to speak to you. I don't need to see you if you do not feel comfortable, or if you do not have a camera. It doesn't matter. Just come on and just to be able to hear you and listen, and you need to be able to hear me and talk to me. So that's all I need is audio capabilities. So please feel free to jump on and give me your 2 cents worth. Let's get it going. But before I do, let's remind everybody on the It's a Wrap Sports Network, this is what's coming up this week. Tonight, Wednesday, you had the Pittsburgh Sports Desk and me. Tomorrow, my boy Kyle Quinn will join me, as we'll do another painful episode of the Birds Blast. Kyle will lend me his insight to what has devolved into a disastrous 2025 season, as we'll look back on the Chargers game and look forward to the Raiders. Gridiron Weekly will follow us up. Now, that's 7 o'clock start time for the Birds Blast. I'm not going to lie to you. There's about a 99.9% chance that that's not going to happen at 7 o'clock. It'll probably be earlier in the day. I'll keep you guys updated as I know once I find out. These things are almost last minute at times, so I'll let you know where we come out on that. 8 o'clock will be the Gridiron Weekly. I will have you on the 9 o'clock Final Word, our final episode of our week, and Flyers Golden Knights post game with Mike Laro tomorrow night. Friday night at 9 is the world debut of the Philly Friday Frenzy with Al Zafiri. Saturday, we got some Clear the Ice, and we started all over again on Sunday with the Philly AM Sports program, Eagles Raiders postgame, and Flyers Hurricanes postgame as well. So another busy weekend. Last weekend sucked in Philadelphia sports, man. We had nothing going on. I had nothing on Saturday, nothing on Sunday. Man. But we're going to get it back where it needs to be starting this week. So a lot going on. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get it going with your day in Philadelphia sports history. Let's strap in, strap on, strap it up. Keep your head, hands, and feet inside of that car at all times. And here we go. On this day back in 2017, folks. Do you remember what happened on this day, in 2017? With the Eagles cruising along with a 10-2 record. The team went into Los Angeles, a place they just were. When the matchup against the Rams, it was then in the third quarter that the Birds would lose starting quarterback Carson Wentz to a season-ending knee injury after being hit by two Rams defenders. Wentz scored on that play, only to have it called back on a holding call on Lane Johnson. Wentz played 4 more snaps, throwing his last pass of the season to Alshon Jeffrey for a 2-yard touchdown. He finished the game with 291 yards passing and 4 touchdowns as the Eagles won in dramatic fashion, 43-35. An MRI would later revealed that Wentz had torn his ACL and was lost for the year. Wentz finished his MVP leading campaign with 33 touchdowns and just 7 interceptions in 13 games. Backup quarterback Nick Foles, the patron saint of this show, would finish the game and the season leading the team through the NFC playoffs and eventually winning this MVP honors in Super Bowl 52 in a 41-33 Eagles conquest over the Patriots. Yes. So on this day, a disastrous blow was struck to the Eagles back in 2017. I remember it as if it was yesterday. I remember more of the fallout. And I also remember trying to convince myself at the time of the injury that, oh, he's okay. Just a bone bruise, laceration, a tweak, a pull, a strain. I was not prepared to admit that it was going to be an ACL. Then the next day, I remember hearing the Doug Peterson press conference saying, yeah, it's ACL. And yeah, he's gone. But to everybody's surprise, not to mine. I wasn't on the air back then, and I was actually in the Army at that point, and towards the end of my career. But I know it sounds sort of, coincidental that I would come on here and say that I actually had faith and confidence in Nick Foles the rest of the way. And as we sit here at another crossroads with our quarterback situation, it's funny of what a backup quarterback can do to an offense. Now, there was not an easy way through the playoffs for the Eagles. Foles struggled. What did he come out in that second game? I know they played the Giants in his first game. They won pretty handily. Then they played the Raiders on Christmas, which was a total struggle. And then he finished up the season, went into the playoffs. They barely squeaked by Atlanta. It blew the doors off of Minnesota and then upset the world against the Patriots. So, yeah, I understand it wasn't necessarily all sunshine and rainbows for Nick Foles. There were some hiccups along the way. But the biggest question I think everybody takes out of that 2017 season, could have Carson Wentz led the Eagles to that Super Bowl? And we'll never know the answer to that. But the biggest question answered was that Nick Foles could. And again, as we sit here at a crossroads again with our quarterback situation, totally two different types of situations. We're looking to replace the quarterback based on performance, not injury. But as we sit here at a crossroads with our quarterback, why not? Right? We've seen it work already. Maybe that's what we are here. Maybe this is what this town is, the town of backups, the town of underdogs. And what better than an underdog story than to put Tanner McKee under center for this stagnant ass offense and see what he can do. So happy. Well, I guess it's not a happy, but, and of course, Carson Wentz's career from that point sort of went that way, and which, eventually led to his replacement by Jalen Hurts in 2020, the end of the 2020 season. Are we at another crossroads with our quarterback situation? Two different situations, inherently, yes. But again, I asked the question like I've been asking for weeks now. Why not? What could it hurt to make a move at quarterback for the Eagles? So happy or, I don't know, happy nostalgic day. But today, on this day in 2017, Carson Wentz blows out his ACL against the Rams and ushering the Nick Foles era. And yes, the Nick Foles Super Bowl MVP era. Man, oh man. The biggest thing that I cannot stand about the Jalen Hurts glazing is this consistent reference back to his Super Bowl MVP. When the hell did that award become anything other than you're the quarterback, you're on the winning team? There you go, brother. You get it. It is so embarrassing to hear mainly homers who say it, that he's the Super Bowl MVP. Well, yeah, he is, but again, and I don't think he deserved it. It was the defense that won the day in that game. But how embarrassing that is to say, oh, Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl MVP. Well, Nick Foles was a Super Bowl MVP. Doug Williams was a Super Bowl MVP. We can go down the line in history and talk about these Super Bowl MVPs like it means something. That's the most embarrassing title that you throw against Jalen Hurts' name. That it's something in reverence. That's going to clinch. It's going to clinch his acceptance into Canton one day that he was the Super Bowl MVP. Stop saying that, man. Good God. You know what? From this point forward, And here's a proclamation on the final word with Matty B. As we lead into every show with our boy Nick Foles, again, the patron saint of the final word with Matty B. As we lead in with him, I'm going to refer to him from this point, and anytime after this point that I reference Nick Foles, I will refer to him as Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles, because apparently that's a title, like a doctor, I guess, now that you give people once they've earned that very high prestigious award. So there you go. Today, Carson Wentz goes down with an injury, and Nick Foles takes the reins from that point forward and leads the Eagles to a Super Bowl. Mickey Delaney, what is going on? Joe Hale says, hey, everybody. Joe, what's up? Phone lines are open. Every time I see Joe Hale's name, I get reminded of that. Phone lines are open. So if you guys want to take your shot at me, here you go. Let's do it. Come on. I'm here. But I guess let's go to the phones as we got some callers stacked up. We got a caller, Mr. Michael Papernick. How you doing?
Yeah, what up, Matty? So you were talking about Nick Foles. Now, remember this. With that 2-week layoff, they went back. Frank Reich and Doug Peterson went back to his time with Chip Kelly to see what he did best and put that in there.
That's right. That's Mike. That's the great point. They tweaked the offense to suit Nick Foles' ability. Yes.
Now here's a question: did that defense win that game against the Patriots?
Or the offense?
Yeah.
Oh, Mike.
Because they were a top 5 defense too. They were a top 5, top 3. They were across the board and everything. That defense.
But they were going head to head. Foles went head to head with Brady. I mean, every time they would deliver a punch, Foles would counter. They got the Philly special, Zach Ertz. I'm going to say the offense won that game personally.
Now here's the thing. At least nobody can say the Eagles had 2 cheap wins in the Super Bowl because they beat 2 teams that were basically considered dynasties.
Absolutely.
And they're the only team in NFL history to score 40 points or more in both their Super Bowls.
That's good point. Bringing up some good knowledge there, Papernick. But let me ask you this. The Super Bowl that the Eagles won last year, and you're going to ask me the question about who won that game against the Patriots. Who won that game, offense or defense?
We know the defense did, but I get what people say about Jalen. They took Saquon away, and they put the ball in his hands, and he threw for 220, 2 TDs, ran for 1 interception. It wasn't a great game, and he only had the 1 interception that made the short field. That was Zach Bond. Now, did the defense shorten the field on punts and stuff? Getting the 3 and out. Yeah,
but they had the Cooper DeJean pick 6 too.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about shortening the field. If you exclude,
right.
I'm just talking about they only had the one with the Zach Bond. But I mean, look, Jalen could have crapped the bucket in that game when they took Saquon away. I mean,
no, I'm giving him his credit for that. That game, Jalen showed up in both Super Bowls that he played in. I will give him that 100%. But the fact that and I'm not going to sit here. I remember when they announced it, I knew they weren't going to give the MVP to Zach Bond or Cooper DeJean. They weren't going to give it to anybody on the defense.
I thought Josh Sweat deserved it.
Josh Sweat was another one. Right. I knew that. I mean, Von Miller was the only one that I know defensively that's ever won that award. In a game, and then the cornerback from the Steelers back against the Cowboys back in '94 was Larry Brown, or was that the Cowboys cornerback? This is a Cowboys secondary player. He won it too in '94. But generally speaking, it goes to a quarterback. So I'm not going to sit here and get really upset about it. Okay, yeah, he's a quarterback. Give it to him. But the fact that now, almost a year later, that you add that title to his name, like it means something that's going to literally get him into the Hall of Fame, that he was the Super Bowl MVP. Me and Kyle talked about this last week on the Birds Blast, and he said an interesting theory that homers say that because they can't call him the actual MVP because he's never actually won the MVP. So it's almost like they're trying to make themselves feel better about it. I think it's annoying that you refer to Jalen Hurts as the Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts. So from this point forward, I will refer to Nick Foles as the Super Bowl MVP, Nick Foles. All right, we can do this too.
If you remember that game, that's the only game that I've never seen Andy Reid or Steve Spagnuolo not adapt in the second half to a team in a big game.
They had no answers.
They did it. It looked role reversal when the Eagles lost the first Super Bowl to Kansas City. That Gannon and Sirianni had no didn't adapt to all the Kansas City in the second half. It was just role reversal. That's all it was when they had the lead. Now here I want to get to the Phillies. Pete Alonso.
Yeah, 5 years to Baltimore, going to Maryland.
155. You're telling me they couldn't let Schwarber just go to Baltimore? Like Baltimore couldn't offer 155, and
I know.
But it's
annoying.
Look, at least the Mets are making us look good, because I don't know what they're doing.
So far, Edwin Diaz is gone. Ryan Hesley's gone. Alonso's gone. All they've acquired so far is Marcus Semien, which is a good player, but he's not going to be able to carry the team.
They're talking about some some Japanese first baseman, I guess, that they're going after. I could take his place. But here's the thing. The Phillies are going to look. What else are the Phillies going to do? They're going to run back the same team as next year. It's going to be Turner, Schwarber. I mean, you're going to see the outfield's going to be probably Kepler and right, center field Marsh, Crawford and left.
Did you say?
Yeah,
Kepler?
he'll probably be back. Yeah,
come on, man.
Look, I don't want him back, but we all know he's coming back. I mean, look, they brought Robbie back because they're living off 4 years ago in the World Series when they, like I said last night, they've regressed.
Yeah,
so if they're going to keep running it back, they'll just keep. That's all they're going to do. I mean, they're not going to get rid of Baum now. That's the problem. I mean, if they can't sign Bregman.
No, it's all going to be trades now. If any kind of splashy move is going to be made, it's going to be made through a trade. They're going to sign some free agents because they have a little money to play with. But you're right. There's no more. It's going to be complementary pieces like you mentioned, Kepler and friggin' Austin Hayes is those kind of guys. I don't even think they can afford Bader. Honestly,
there's a guy out in Colorado, the center fielder, that supposedly a bunch of teams are interested in because he's on the market. He was their goal. I guess he was an all-star, but I don't know. Supposed to be pretty good. The Rocky center fielder. I forget his name. He's supposed to be. I think his name's Ryan something. Maybe I'm wrong with that.
Brenton Doyle. Is that what you're talking about?
Brunson Doyle. There it is.
Brenton Doyle. Yep.
He's supposedly available.
Yeah, he won the Gold Glove this year.
Yeah, he's supposedly available. Now, the only way the Phillies are going to get Bader back, if he goes to the Mariners, not the Mariners, if he goes to Tampa Bay and he's not doing so good, they might get him back in a trade in July, and pick up the then he get the 2 year. They'll have him for the 2 years on his contract. I mean, but this, listen, the Phillies are still going to battle for third. Marlins or Washington are going to get second. The Mets are going to be in fourth. It's just this is going to be a bad year for the Phillies, and. You said severance pay. That's just a waste of money. And last about Robbie
but it is. That's what it is, though. And you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong, but that's what that is. It's severance pay because I don't think and the fact that they're the whole Don Mattingly situation, the whole of creating the infield baseball MLB field coordinator job that they did to move their current bench coach into, and then open up the bench coach job to a person with MLB managerial experience. I mean, does Dombrowski think we're stupid? And more appropriately, does he think Thompson's stupid? Is Thompson not going into the season maybe like, oh, okay, I'll come back and do it? I mean, is his heart not all into this? And they're just sort of kind of, hey, listen, man, we'll hire your replacement. So if things do not work out, just go away. But we need you back. I mean, the optics of this whole thing are kind of weird. I'd love to know the real story of why they're doing this. I would.
Robbie has pictures on him. That's the real story. He's got pictures. Because he should have been fired after the Mets series, but he should have been fired after the analytical pennant losing to the Diamondbacks when that was their year because the Dodgers weren't in it. No big teams were in it. But nope, the team still built the same way. You go see Schwarber batting second, Harper third. Yeah. When Schwarber hits a home run, Harper's going to go up there and swing for the fences because now he's under pressure to do it. And it's just
Alec Bohm batting fourth again. Yeah, I mean it's
and Brandon Marsh batting fifth. We didn't even got did they sign JT? Supposedly Schwarber sent the text to him.
Yeah, that's still out in the air right now. Apparently they're negotiating. And that
did you hear the money?
No, it's 2 years, right?
Well, from what I understand, he could get between 15 and 20 million
per year.
Yeah, something like that.
Are you serious?
That's what it said in this thing, 15 to 20 million. I mean, I can't see him taking it. I said the same thing to my boy. I was like, listen, let's just go out and sign for Alonso sign. Just go sign Alonso and just bash the ball away. I mean, the heck with anything else. They might as well just sign Suarez. They need pitching. I'm telling you, that's going to bite them right in their rear. That's going to bite them. But I think Nola's shot. Anybody can say anything you want. I think he's shot. I mean, he's no good in the playoffs anyway. When he gets to September, when he gets near there, he's horrible. He ain't that good. Suarez and Wheeler and then Sanchez. They were your three money guys in the playoffs when you need someone. You need guys with ice in the veins. They're the three guys. Now you're down to only two, and you're hoping Wheeler can come back and be the Wheeler. And who knows? I mean, but did you see? So the Pirates offered 4 years, 120. The Reds offered 4 years. I think it was 125. Baltimore offered the 150. Yeah, they all see. Once Pittsburgh put that money out there, it was game on. Then see the Phillies. What I would have done over the when they had that 5 day span where they can negotiate. I would have said to Kyle, 4 years, 5 years. Or the 4 years, 150, take it. If you don't take it, you move on, you go get Alonso. That's how you know if he wants the money. If he wants to stay there that bad.
Alonso took Schwarber's money from Baltimore. Obviously, that was the money that they were going to give Schwarber. So,
155. I can't believe it.
I mean, he's over $5 million. I mean, I like Schwarber. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think he's better for the team than Harper. When I say that as more of a leader, where Harper's just, I ain't gonna say he's not a leader, but he's just, I don't know. It's just something don't connect there sometimes with Harper. I just think he's more into himself, the showman and all this, and and gearing up with the fanatic stuff, and instead of just going out there and just doing what he's been doing since he's been 5 years old. I mean, he just don't, he's so worried. Send him to Vegas. That's where he belongs. Send him to Oakland when they go to Vegas. I think he would take a trade out there, and I think the A's would take him. The A's are looking for a new face of the franchise, man. What better than Vegas's favorite son? I mean, it's a match. Let's not. Why can't we make that happen? I think Vegas is going to be, the A's this year. I think they're going to be a fringe playoff team. I honestly do. I'm penciling them in as one of my wild card teams this year in the American League. What better person to go out there? I know you got to play in Sacramento for the next 2 years, and you probably would hate that. But then you go into that multi-gazillion-dollar stadium. Have you seen the mock-up for this thing? The stadium out in Vegas? It's pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, you're going to go back to Vegas. You're going to go back to your hometown. It's a match made in heaven, man. You're the face. I don't know why you wouldn't take that.
I think he would. I just don't. It's going to happen sooner or later because the Phillies got to make a decision on money sometime because you got Turner stuck here for the next 45 years. You got Harper's, for the next X amount of years. And but he only signed the 5 year. Yeah, well, I get that. Yeah, but you see where I'm going with. I mean, you got them other two guys in their 40s. I mean, like it's they got to make a decision because I mean. It seems like none of the guys are panning out from AAA. We hope Crawford pans out. I hope Brinconis pans out. I mean, they got to have at least two of them. They just lost Griff McGarry. You saw that, right?
Selected by the Nationals, staying in the division too. So that's a little disparaging.
They did get a pitcher. Some kid. He pitched 9 innings last year in AAA or something. He had like 13 strikeouts between AAA and AA. He had like a 3-something ERA.
Yeah, the Phillies were active today. They were active on the Rule 5, and they also made a trade today. We'll get into all that in the hot
seat. Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can always go back to that Rule 5. Shane Victorino, we got him there. So Jason Worth was also Rule 5. So I don't know.
Looks that Eugenio Suarez is still out there. I mean,
he's a free agent.
Trey Baum, sign him. He'll hit you 30 home runs at third base. He ain't going to give you great defense, but he'll give you that right-handed bat we need.
Yeah.
But agree. We're running it back. This is bad. No.
It's going to be every day. It seems that way, and obviously with the Schwarber signing, it seems that way. And then, of course, the other domino to fall that clinches it would be re-signing Real Muto. But as you know, from me, I almost kind of resigned myself in having them re-sign Real Muto because there's no other options in house that they could go to. So I'm not necessarily.
How does?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm listening.
No, go ahead. It's your time.
How is Baltimore coming up with this money where they're trying to go after a top-notch starter now? They're a small market team. They don't got Peter Angelo and his kids are cheaper than dirt, and they're just pulling money out of everywhere now.
Well, Baltimore,
and the Phillies,
as you know, they were after so many years of being dreadful, they started getting some hits with some of those draft picks, and they got good for a few years. I don't know what the hell happened last year. They fell off the face of the earth. I guess they're really pissed off, and they're like, oh, we're not letting that happen again. So now we're all in. But you're right. I guess they're having the John Middleton thing. Yeah, whatever. We'll lose draft picks. We'll lose international signing bonus money. We can whatever. Who cares? Until they institute that cap, let's go all in and see what we can do. That's what I think.
I think the Phillies, what they're hoping for is get one of them Asian guys that are available. I think one's an outfielder. Can play right. He can play the outfield or something. I think that's what they're hoping for. And I don't know. It's just, yeah, we'll run it back and then bring in Don Mattingly in. I mean, they didn't even sign this guy yet. That'd be funny if he signed with another team. That would make my day to know that this Phillies organization is so screwed up. If Mattingly signed with somebody else,
I think Mattingly's coming. I think
he's probably signed already. It is probably quiet because there's no way he's just sitting out there.
No,
and nobody wants him.
And I think I think there was two factors that led him here. One was his son, and the other one was the potential of managing again. Because essentially, when Rob Thompson either fails to get to the World Series in 2026, or comes out of the gate and just has a dreadful start to the season, he will be your next manager. Mattingly's here to be the next manager of the Phillies.
Yeah, but here's the thing: my thing's this: when you have a Bruce Bochy out there, I don't know if Bruce wants to manage anymore. I don't know. I haven't seen any reports. I haven't heard anything.
Well, he took a job with he's back in San Francisco. He took a job as like an advisor. He didn't come. He took a front office position. I don't think he wanted to go back in the dugout. I think he wanted to kind of go upstairs.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing with the Phillies. I get like they have Mattingly. When it gets to the end of the season, they have to do their due diligence. Why just sign the guy? What if they've missed the playoffs, but they played decent in the second half because the first half was a mess, and they signed Mattingly because they don't know. That's what I mean. Like you got to talk to some guys like Baker and Bochy and other guys to see what to gauge their interest, because I like Donnie baseball. But the flavor of the moment ain't always the best choice.
And how's Don Mattingly going to react to the entitlements of Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, and Kyle Schwarber? How's that dynamic going to work?
I think Schwarber will be fine. I think Schwarber will be fine.
Harper will.
Harper won't, because he can't go by and say it's my fault. I won't do it again. Running out of ball and not getting benched. And then the guy who's 28th on the bench is watching that, going, "Well, I can do that too." Yeah. So,
there'll be repercussions for Harper. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. That's the problem right there. That's why Robbie shouldn't be back. There's a time. It's like having a kid. There's a time to be a parent and a time to be their friend.
Yep.
And it's like a boss, friend. You gotta be. You got manager. You gotta be a manager. You can't be buddy, and that's the problem. And it's bringing this guy back is just so bad. It's not because of my dislike for him. It's just his proven track record. What's he done after the pennant? All went downhill.
Kaepernick, and that's the same thing with this Kyle Schwarber thing. I agree with what you're saying about Thompson, but the same can be said about Kyle Schwarber. Yeah, he was great here. We love him, and he's 58 homers, 132 RBIs, all that. But what has he done? What has he done for the team? He disappears in the postseason. He hasn't produced that way. We haven't gone any further with him than we did when he got here. Why are you bringing him back when it didn't work? Same thing can be said about Rob Thompson. Same thing can be said about Kyle Schwarber. Why is he coming back when this dynamic did not work for 4 years? That's a big question that nobody wants to ask.
Fan favorite. Kyle sells jerseys. Like Pete Alonso wouldn't sell jerseys to be a fan favorite here.
Can you imagine the war between the Phillies and Mets if Alonso was a Philly? Are you kidding me?
Oh my, that would be so great.
It would be awesome.
I got some Mets fans up here, and I can't wait to see them. Just to, I can't.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's must see TV. Pete Alonso in a Phillies uniform. It's must see TV.
Now, if the Phillies would go out and sign, see, the problem is you can't sign Cody Bellinger because you need a right-handed bat in that lineup. That's the problem.
He's going to the Mets. Bellinger and Tucker are both going to the Mets. They're going to sign both of them. You watch.
I heard Tucker. I heard Tucker in Boston. Boston's in on Tucker.
Cohen's coming out off the top rope, and he's going to mortgage his life to bring both of them there. I'm telling you.
Juan Soto's got to be sitting there going, "Why did I sign here?"
Yeah,
they just got rid of everybody. Like, he's got to be thinking that because I mean, I don't know what's going to happen out there, and you know what? It can't happen to a better team anyway. I mean, our organization's a mess, and the Mets are just making us look better each and every day with their mess that's going on.
I agree, Papernick. All right, man. Listen, we'll let you go.
Good night.
Tomorrow night we'll be back. Make sure you're here, Papernick. Can't have a show without you, man.
I'll be here. All right, Matty. All right,
go on. Michael Papernick, man, always with the stuff, man. Always with some good nuggets of information there, Michael Papernick. Dave Yarnell checks in, says, "Hey, how you doing this fine night?" Dave, I'm well. Cowboys live another week. Congratulations there. Red Sox replace Alex with Alec. The Phillies get their right-handed outfielder and a third baseman with Pop. Everyone wins in these moves. I don't know if that's, again, how are we going to find the money for Bregman? And I don't want Bregman. God damn it. Star Wars. Have you not been listening over these past years? It's DNA. I don't want another power hitting bat stuck in the middle of my. I don't need 19 number 4 hitters playing in my lineup. I need a number 2. I need a 3. Well, I need a 4. I need a 5. I need a 6. Tired of this, man. And I know Papernick said it last night. We're going to go ahead and sign Schwarber. We're going to go sign Alonso, and we're going to go sign Bellinger, and we're just going to hit 1,000 home runs and home run our way to the World Series. It's not going to work. And the Red Sox, and this is another thing. I just don't understand. And again, I know people are, and another report came out today that Preston Mattingly and Dombrowski, and I guess maybe Middleton had a meeting with Castellanos and said, "You know what, brother? We think a change of scenery is necessary for everybody." And so, yes. And I don't think there's any Phillies fan or Phillies beat reporter or media member or member of the team that actually thought Castellanos was coming back in 26. But what do you think? Honestly, who's taking him? No one's taking him 1 for 1. There's going to be a sweetener involved, maybe multiple sweeteners. It might cost you some prospects. You know, I mean, how important is it to get Nick Castellanos off your team? Is it worth you losing a Gene Cabrera, a flame-throwing AA guy that should start AAA? Might be a Philly by the end of the year, or definitely by the beginning of 27. Is it going to? Are you okay with it costing you an Arun Escobar type player, good young third baseman, making his way up through the system? Dante Nore, Gage Wood. I mean, are you prepared to sweeten Nick Castellanos with one of them? Because that's what it's going to take to get Castellanos out of here. And I'm not saying that you don't do it because of that, but everyone's got these ideas that we can actually move Castellanos by himself. There's no way that's happening. Not for a expiring $18 million contract. They're going to want something else. They're going to want a prospect. Now, I would double down and say, you want Castellanos, Stott, and Bohm? We'll make that trade happen today. I'll take, matter of fact, I'm going to go and mock that trade up. I'm going to come back tomorrow with a Castellanos, Bohm, Stott trade proposal to a team out there. And you know what? I think they could move away from that. But 1 for 1 Castellanos ain't going anywhere. 1 for 1 Alec Bohm ain't going anywhere. Stott, yeah, you might be able to move something there with him. He's a young, very good defender. If in the right situation, without bouncing up and down the freaking lineup like a yo-yo, he could probably settle in to be a very good hitter. And his role as a 7 or an 8 or a 9 guy, 100%, not leading off, not batting second. Did they ever bat him 4th, for God's sakes? But, you know, if they can find a team that's going to leave this kid alone and say bat 7th, and I don't care if you're batting 900 at 7, you're staying at 7. You're not getting promoted into the lineup because your batting average is going. And when did that happen? When did that start happening in baseball? You get promoted in the lineup because your average rises. What the hell does that mean? That makes no sense to me. I mean, Mike Schmidt didn't raise himself from the 4-hitter to the leadoff hitter because he was batting 300 one year. No, if you're batting 400 or 300 at your natural spot, great. You don't get promoted up through the lineup because of that. When did that start becoming a thing? And that's what I mean, though, Star Wars. I don't need 19 cleanup hitters playing on the Phillies or batting in a 9-man lineup. We saw how it didn't work last year, and the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that. I need some DNA. I need some diversity, man. I just need this to be an inclusive lineup. I need them all, right? I'm not discriminating against anybody in this damn lineup. I need them all because we don't have a number 2. Apparently, we don't have a 4-hitter either because Schwarber doesn't bat there. Don't have a 5. Don't have a 6. We got a 7, 8, 9. But there's a critical part of that lineup that we're missing those types of hitters that bat in those spots. You know how criminal it was watching Alec Bohm clean up in the playoffs against the Dodgers? How criminal that was? How negligent that looked? How ridiculous that looked? That you had Alec Bohm batting cleanup against the Dodgers in the playoffs? That was the best option? If anything, I would have reversed Schwarber and Bohm. I would have put Schwarber down at 4 and stuck Bohm at 2. That is one of the only spots that the Phillies have not tried him out at. Now, I bat Bohm second in the show game. Oh, yeah, and he's batting like 380 over the course of the last 7 seasons. I've been playing the show 21 since 21. I'm up to the year 2027 now in the game. I, as the Phillies, am the 7-time defending World Series champions. Right? And I got Bohm batting second. And he's been batting second there for the last 7 years. And he's killing it. So why can't we put Bohm at second in the 2-hole? He's the closest thing we have to a 2-hole hitter on this team. But no, we're going to bat him 4th. And we're going to put Schwarber at second in the 2-hole. That's one of the downfalls of bringing Kyle Schwarber back, especially on the Rob Thompson. Another year of this. Another year of looking at 9 different people leading off, 7 different people batting second. No consistency throughout that lineup because it's unstructured. That's what concerns me about this whole Kyle Schwarber thing. And also that we're running it back, which is a byproduct of what I'm talking about. So, no, I don't want Alec Bregman. No. Lane Johnson and Jalen Carter were listed as not being able to participate in the Eagles walkthrough today. Yeah, well, you know, both of them are dealing with some problems. I don't think you're going to see neither one of them until the playoffs. I really don't. I don't think it's even when your season is hanging by a thread, but yet you're 8-5 and you're sort of still in the driver's seat. Why would you risk losing the only two of the only consistent players you have for the playoffs that are coming up? Why not let them sit until the playoffs start? That'd be the smart thing to do. And we should give our quarterback a rest too. That's right. He needs a little break. Henner time. Activate. We don't need to worry about Pete and Edwin. Well, yeah, we do. Somewhat. Pete Alonso is on his way to Baltimore, which shocked the hell out of me. Getting the Kyle Schwarber money that the O's had set aside for him. Pete Alonso is now an Oriole. We do have to play everybody in Major League Baseball, so we are going to see the Orioles and potentially in the World Series. Edwin Diaz is out in Los Angeles. I mean, we're going to see him 6 to 7 times a season and probably again in the playoffs. So, yes, we still have to worry about Edwin Diaz. So I wouldn't necessarily say we don't have to worry about him anymore. He's still there. I can see Kyle Tucker going to the Mets. I just said it, Dave. They're going to sign because they lost out on they lost Ryan Helsley, which I don't think they would have re-signed anyway. They traded Brandon Nimmo, which I think is a great trade. I love Marcus Semien. They lost out on Alonso, right? They're going to sign both Bregman and Kyle Tucker. Mark my friggin' words, they're both going to be Mets by the end of the offseason. Mark my words. No, yeah, exactly, Michael. I mean, come on, how frustrating is that? I'm assuming that Geno Smith will be out Sunday as supposedly he hurt his shoulder. Yeah, and that means a Kenny Pickett revenge game. And this is interesting, a subtitle to this game. Kenny Pickett's terrible, all right? I get that. But he knows the Eagles defense, right? I mean, he knows them. Spent all last year with them. Just saying. I don't think the Eagles win another game. I went on record by saying the Eagles will lose out and finish the season 8-9 and out of the playoffs. All right, let's go to another caller. Where have you been, Ricky? I haven't seen you in days, man. Is everything okay?
Mm-hmm.
Ricky, I cannot do a show unless you're here. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you need to start showing back up again, man. Come on. No, I'm just joking, Ricky. I have missed you, though. How you been?
I am good.
Good, Ricky. What do you want to talk about tonight, Ricky? Oh, Ricky, why you do this to me? Let's go Sixers. Ricky, where are we going? Where are they going? Well, all right, let's talk. Ricky, we are a 4-for-4 program, and I will speak basketball with you until the cows come home. But I ain't gonna lie to you, Ricky. I've spent about 1% out of 100. I have not even seen a Sixers game this year. Not 1 second of a Sixers game have I watched this year. I am completely out on that team. Daryl Morey's a good drafter, though. I'll give him that. But we just got to find a way to get away from Embiid and Paul George. Sixers ain't going anywhere, Ricky. But what about Flyers, Ricky? You want to talk Flyers?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a good news story. Big-time win yesterday against the Sharks. Ty Murchison making his NHL debut, playing pretty well back there on the blue line for the Flyers. We need some defensive stability. Looking pretty good there for the first 28 games of the year there, Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
And what about the Eagles, Ricky Deal? Are the Eagles done? Ricky, are the Eagles done?
No.
Ricky Deal, the eternal optimist, says no, they are not done. Ricky, are they still going to win the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Ricky, the BU. Ricky, I love you. Don't ever change, Ricky Deal. Ricky, hold on to the Eagles to the end. Brother, we'll talk tomorrow, okay, man?
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Deal, my man. I wish I could be like that, man. I wish I could look at death in the face and say, it's okay. I really do. Instead of looking at death in the face and running away from it like a schoolgirl. I really wish I could be like that. I think the Eagles go 3-1, losing to Buffalo, but it's fool's gold at 3-1, get knocked out of the first round. Yes, and listen, Kaepernick, here's another wrinkle to the end of this season. With the chaotic disaster of an offense, every win that doesn't result in a Super Bowl, because that's obviously the expectation, is to win a Super Bowl, start the dynasty. Well, that boat has sailed, man. That's done. So every win, we slide further and further back in the first round of that draft. Now, Howie has squandered 4 of our draft picks already since September in these ill-fated trades, with the exception of Jalen Phillips. I'll give him there. But we've lost 4 draft picks. So now it's all about positioning. And I think we are at a point where, because we're not winning a Super Bowl, every win from this point forward hurts us in the long run of trying to fix this thing. So I say lose out for the purpose of getting a better first-round draft pick. 8-9 would get you about maybe what? Top 12? Top 15? Instead of a, what? What are you saying? 3-1, that's 11-6? 11-6, you're back down in like the 20s. I'm telling you, man. There's a lot of work needs to be done in this football team, and it starts with the draft. So lose out for the betterment of this team. We're not winning a Super Bowl. Right, Joe Hale?
Correct. I want to talk about what the Cowboys fan said. Kyle Tucker and
Dave Darnold
Bellinger aren't going. Yeah, they're not going. He's not going to the Mets. Well, You know where he's going to go? The Dodgers.
Back to the Dodgers?
Who, Kyle Tucker?
Oh, I thought you said Bellinger. Tucker? Okay.
No, Bellinger might be going back to the Yankees. But I also heard the Red Sox in on Bellinger.
Bellinger and Tucker are both going to the Mets. Joe Hale, book it, bank it, take it to the bank, put it under your Christmas tree, man. I'm telling you, it's happening.
Soda tweeted on Twitter saying he's pissed. He doesn't like the move for Alonso gone, and he's not happy with the Mets.
Oh, he's screwed too, because didn't he sign like a 30-year contract as well?
Yes. Well,
I tell you what,
trade clause you have to.
Would you trade Harper 1-for-1 for Soto right now?
Yes.
So would I. So would I.
I would put at first base.
What, you put who at first?
Soda.
I'd probably put Kemp at first. I wouldn't care who's at first because I've already got that'd be nice. That'd be a nice little. I'd put Soto back out in right field. I would put him out there.
So you said a trade scenario.
A trade scenario where, listen, you for the Phillies, you are sending Castellanos, Stott, and Bohm in a package deal. Who do you trade them to? What team and for who?
Jake Myers for Houston.
So them 3 for Myers?
Yes.
Man, is that a little one-sided?
Huh?
Isn't that a little bit one-sided? You want anything more?
I want cash also.
Okay.
That way the Phillies can go out and sign whoever.
So Jake Myers and cash for Castellanos, Stott, and Bohm. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I know. They acquired about Mackenzie Gore today, by the way.
I saw that. What
did it take for him to get traded?
So Gore, okay, let's look at Gore. Gore came to the Nationals via the Padres in the Soto trade, all right, along with C.J. Abrams and James Wood. That was all part of the same trade. Can you imagine that trade? James Wood, C.J. Abrams, and Mackenzie Gore all came in the same deal that sent Soto to the Padres. It's amazing. Why can't we do stuff like this? So I think he's under team control for at least the next 4 years, right? That's what you got to look at. That's the first thing. Number 2, he's going to be a stud. He's going to be an ace. He's a 2 right now in a rotation. I love him. It's going to take a lot. You buy Painter, buy Miller. I mean, it's going to take probably top 3 prospects. Again, the Nationals flipped Soto for. Again, wrap your head around C.J. Abrams, James Wood, and Mackenzie Gore all came in the same friggin' trade to the Nationals from San Diego. It's going to take something like that to get Mackenzie Gore away from the Nationals. Not to say that I wouldn't do it, but it's going to take something like that.
Would you bring back Andrew McCutchen on 1-year deal for a bench?
Play him in center, left? Play him where? Left field?
Bench.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. I love McCutchen. I love him to death.
Because he's a free agent.
He is. But I think his heart's in Pittsburgh. I think he's at the end. I think he wants to finish out familiar now. Does he want to finish out chasing a ring? But yeah, I would bring back McCutchen in a heartbeat.
That's another name. And the Phillies are talking to San Diego. San Diego sell now all of a sudden.
Okay. So who are they talking about?
Some relief pitching.
Okay.
And I wish it was Mason. It won't be.
Michael Papernick says, if we're giving up the farm for a pitcher from the Nats, I'd rather give up the farm for Paul Skeens. But here's the thing. You could probably get Mackenzie Gore from the Nationals for the farm. The Pirates are going to want the farm. They're going to want the road. They're also going to want your houses. They're going to want your town. They're going to want your city. It's going to take a king's ransom to get Paul Skeens away from the Pirates. That's not happening. You could maneuver your way through Mackenzie Gore. You'd have to give up every your top 30 would go to Pittsburgh in exchange for Paul Skeens. So I'm not saying that you're wrong, Peppernick. I would do it, but let's be realistic. It's going to take more than I am prepared to give you for Paul Skeens.
He's not coming here.
Yeah, he's on his way. He's going to end up in New York with the Mets or Yankees or in LA.
No, that's where that's where Sukubal's going to end up going now, apparently.
Yeah, well, he's in a different spot, and that's interesting because Tariq Skubal kind of was a late bloomer. I mean, he didn't really start getting dominant until about 2 years ago, and now here we are at his free agent year coming up. But they're in a real bad spot here, man, Joe. I mean, he's the heartblood of that team, and they were in a win now mode as well. I don't know. I mean, that's a tough spot for the Tigers to be in. I would let the season play out. And if they're out of it, yes, you make a move at the deadline.
Apparently, if Skubal goes to the Dodgers, Mookie Betts might be going to Detroit.
You think so?
I heard part of that.
Trade that. I'm not going to. No, I don't want. I want friggin' Sasaki. I want Yamamoto. I want both of them. 2 for 1 right now. I give you Skubal. Sasaki and Yamamoto.
You talked about Eagles. I don't know what to think. I think Jalen Hurts is done.
I think Jalen Hurts is done too. And the big topic around the internet today is what it could do long term to the Philadelphia Eagles
next year.
Or going out and drafting a quarterback next year. I've heard that entertained. I've also heard a theory that they were already looking in that direction next year for a quarterback, whatever. But something's got to give, Joe. And again, do I honestly think they're going to lose to the Raiders? I don't. But I don't think they deserve to beat the Raiders. Even if they played the greatest game of the season, they don't deserve to beat the Raiders based on what they've done all year. And would I be surprised if they lost to the Raiders? No. And if they lost to the Raiders, how can you and it's because of another bad performance by the offense, how can you justify keeping Jalen Hurts behind center? How can you keep doing it week after week?
If he sucks, you get rid of him after this. You bench him. I also see the Packers losing this week.
Okay.
They go to Denver.
That's a good game.
Hey, you never know. The Bears could be upset in Cleveland. It's in Chicago, but Cleveland and the snow.
It's football time, man. Favorite time of the year. Then starting next week, we got Saturday football, man. Saturday football comes back next week. I can't wait.
The Eagles play next week. Against
Saturday, the Commanders on Saturday. Yep.
And the other game next Saturday is going to be good.
What is it?
Detroit, Chicago, and Green Bay.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Christmas time, Saturday football, playoff races, snow, cold. It does not get any better than that, Joe Hale.
Do you have time to talk Flyers?
Whatever. Yeah, we got about 2 more minutes and we got to move
on. What about the Flyers trade, the minor trade for that defensive man?
So we talked about him last night on the Flyer prospect. His name is Roman Schmidt. Let me bring up his thing. I have it here. So he's 6'5", 218 pounds, right? He was drafted in 2021. He's a 4th round pick of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Where is this thing? I had it up. We did it last night. There he is. Again, 6'5", 218 pounds. There he is right there. Roman Schmidt, right-handed defenseman, Joe Hale. You can never have too many of them. He's all slow movements until an opponent gets in his range along the boards. Then he strikes. So he's I don't want to say the G word, but it kind of sounds like he's a kind of a one-trick goon pony. I'm not saying he doesn't have a place, but he was a 3rd round pick in 2021. So there was some potential there at some point, but he's still kind of laboring in the minors. I don't really look at him long-term as a help for the Flyers, but is he a body? Is he reinforcing the image of our blue line, at least from the outside? Yes. I'd like big guys like that.
The Flyers are talking to Vancouver, but not for the player that everybody wants.
No
For
Quinn Hughes
defense.
talk?
No Quinn Hughes. It's a defensive man.
Is it Pedersen?
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. He's a finesse guy. He's a goal scorer. I wouldn't mind him. And Ty Murchison last night played really well. He's a bigger kid who plays physical but has
And
skill.
They just sent him down.
Oh, they did? Yeah, well,
So
that was quick.
You can call him back up for tomorrow's game.
Oh, yeah, because he's on a two-way deal. Yeah, no, but listen, and it's funny because as we've gone through a very successful early part of the season, there's been two areas, and the offense has actually been playing quite well. Still they need a score, but that's not been the biggest problem. It's the glaring issues on the blue line, and it's, of course, the goalie situation. I think we've rotated now 9 different defensemen into the lineup, and we're 2 months into the season. I take that for what you want. That's not very promising. That we're still trying to find our defensive identity, but we have a bunch of them that are scratching at the surface. And you got Oliver Bonk that's going to eventually need to get looked at here at some point this year. They're trying everything they can to figure out this defensive combinations. Ristolainen, Cam York are back wearing regular jerseys at practice. That means they're close to returning from their injuries. So hopefully some help from the defense is coming with the NHL players, but it's potential of a lot of different players rotating in and out.
Pearson was there at the game yesterday.
Yes, he was. I saw that. That.
And one question: what time's Bird Blast for tomorrow?
We're still waiting. I texted Kyle about an hour ago. He has not gotten back to me. I will let you guys know. If I don't hear anything tonight, I will post it up at some point on Facebook or X tomorrow.
Tweeted. Jack Frisch just tweeted about the Mets. It's funny.
What did he say?
I didn't read it yet. He's actually pretty awesome to follow on Twitter. I want him back on your show again.
Who?
I want him on your show again. He's awesome.
Who?
Fritz.
Oh, I love Jack Fritz. Yeah, I'll get him back. Yeah, I love Jack. Yeah, we might after things kind of cool down after the holidays, I might bring him back. Yeah, that's a good idea. Right now, he's probably really too busy with all this stuff going on. But yeah, we'll bring him back.
Okay.
All right, Joe Hale, tomorrow night, man.
And I'll see. Yep.
All right, Joe. All right. Oh, man. Ricky Deal saying, let's go Flyers. Let's go Flyers. Papernick says Skeens is generational. He is. And you're right. They're absolutely 100% right. Do you go out and damn the boats or damn the torpedoes full speed ahead with the Paul Skeens if you have an opportunity to get them? Yeah, I guess you do. I would just love to know what the actual, how that process would go. With the Pirates, I mean, are they going to be like, well, what do you think he's worth? And then you start the negotiations with that? Or do the Pirates say, I want X, Y, and Z to start with, and then we go from there? I guess it all depends on what they would think he's worth. But I would tell you off the top, they're going to want at least 3 pitching prospects, top tier. I don't know if they necessarily want any of our major league. Now, does Christopher Sanchez get thrown into this trade potential with Paul Skeens? Do you forego trading one of your prospects for throwing in Chris Sanchez? I don't know how you do that, but I would love to see how that would be broached, like how that whole negotiation would come up. But I'm not telling you I'm out. I would love Paul Skeens here. But Mackenzie Gore is somebody you can manage right now and bring in here right now. And he's a younger player who projects right now as a 2. Does he have ace stuff? Maybe. And he's going to be with some really good pitchers to learn from, a lot better than he's with Washington. I think Mackenzie Gore fits a need right now that's manageable. You know what I mean? You can walk away from that trade with your head still held high. So I don't know. I'm just looking at it from that angle, I guess. I'm doing laundry listening to MattyB. Great night. Thank you, Dave. And by the way, Dave, and you might want to mark this down, man, because here's the thing. I hate the Cowboys more than I hate life itself. I mean, I ain't going to lie to you. But I'm telling you, they're winning the division. I'm telling you right now, the Dallas Cowboys are winning this division. They are going to run the Eagles down and take the division at some point over the next month. And it really upsets me to have to say that. That's how far out I am. That I am actually saying, one, the Eagles will not win another game the rest of the way. And two, I can't believe I'm saying it, that the Cowboys are going to run the Eagles down and they're going to take that division to rub salt in the collapse of 2025. Because not only did you fail to deliver on winning a back-to-back Super Bowl and starting the Eagle dynasty, but you collapsed again in season. And then the third thing, you let the stinking Cowboys run you down from behind and take the division. It's going to go from bad to worse. Braves say, yeah, Mike Yastrzemski, 2 years, 22 years, $23 million for Carl Yastrzemski's grandson, who really never kind of got out of his own way in San Francisco. Had some potential. He was traded last year somewhere. But yeah. Yaz is now in Atlanta. And we're about ready to get into some hot stove here. We can. As a matter of fact, we have post game tomorrow. Tomorrow here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network, Ricky Deal, join Mike Lauro as he will be your purveyor of Flyers Golden Knights post game. And then I'm gonna come on at 9, be on until the game ends, and then he's gonna take over. We've done that a couple of times already. So Mike Lauro will be your host tomorrow on the Clear the Ice program. He'll be back on Saturday, and then I will be back on Sunday. So there's your Clear the Ice schedule for the rest of the week. But all right, let's get into some hot stove because we've been sort of dinking and dunking around the topic all night. Let's talk about it all because we had the Rule 5 draft that happened as well today, and the Phillies lost some and got some. They lost some players and they retained. Well, they lost one specific player that really upsets me. But let's get into some hot stove. All right, yes, it is the hot stove. It is that time of the year. Well, let's go back and let's get you caught up. We had Isaiah Campbell, the right-hand pitcher formerly of the Boston Red Sox, who finished last season with 3 strikeouts and a 7.04 ERA, signing a minor league deal with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Cedric Mullins, our favorite center fielder trade deadline conversation topic, is moving on from the Mets, which acquired him from the Orioles last year at the no, that's not Cedric. Cedric Mullins, isn't it it's between him and Luis Robert as the favorite. He's coming to Philadelphia at the trade deadline topic. Every friggin' year we're discussing that. Hopefully with the emergence of Justin Crawford. And by the way, I'm going to be very conscious this year of referring to him as Justin Crawford. Not Carl Crawford or J.P. Crawford, which I'm sure I'll do a million times, but I'm going to be very cognizant on the fact that the man's name is Justin Crawford, and not to mess it up with those others, but I'm sure I will mess up about a million times. But anyway, Cedric Mullins, our second favorite outfield trade deadline acquisition target, is moving on from the Mets to the Tampa Bay Rays on a 1-year deal. So that means he'll be back in the mix come July as a trade topic conversation because he'll be with the floundering Rays who are returning to Tropicana Field. No more paying rent to George Steinbrenner and the family out there playing in their minor league facility, as they'll be returning to Tropicana next year. So Cedric Mullins is going to the Rays. Nicky Lopez, infielder from the Cubs, now heading to Colorado on a minor league deal. Carl Edwards Jr., formerly of the Rangers, now going to the Mets on a minor league deal. Ryan Weiss, who hasn't played in Major League Baseball since 2023, signed a 1-year deal with the Houston Astros. And of course, the big one, Kyle Schwarber, his .240 batting average, 56 home run, 132 RBI, 2025 MVP runner-up season, signs a 5-year, $150 million contract with the Philadelphia, 5-year, $150 with the Phillies, staying in Philadelphia and signaling a run back of 2025. Anthony Kay is going to the White Sox on a 2-year contract. Vaughn Grissom heading from Boston to Anaheim. He was traded for Isaiah Jackson and some cash. And let's move on to the second page of this. It's a big day, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about here. Cade Winquist, a Rule 5 selection by the Yankees from the Cardinals. Ryan Watson from a Rule 5 was traded for minor league infielder Justin Reamer and cash considerations from the Athletics to the Boston Red Sox. Josh Walker moving on from the Braves to the Baltimore Orioles. He was claimed off of waivers. Daniel Suzak from Minnesota was on his way to the Giants, was traded for Miguel Cabala and cash. Matt Pichard, now headed to St. Louis from Miami in a Rule 5 pick. Cody Ponce, didn't even know he was still in the league, signed a 3-year contract with the Blue Jays. So they're not messing around here, man. Toronto is stacking up on starting pitching. I guess they felt that they were a starting rotation away from beating the Dodgers because they've made some massive, of course, the Dylan Cease move earlier this offseason. Now they add Cody Ponce, who has no line from last year. Was he hurt? I hadn't heard the name Cody Ponce in like 2 years. Let me see where he was. He hasn't played anywhere since 2021. Jesus Christ. What is that all about? What is going on here? But anyway, he's on his way to Toronto. I guess they're just piling up arms and just hoping that, somebody works out. So he's on his way to Toronto. RJ Pettit is going from Detroit to Colorado in the Rule 5. Peyton Pallette going from Chicago, the White Sox, to Cleveland on a Rule 5. Jetskin Perez from Boston heading to the White Sox on a Rule 5. Rowdy Munoz going from Cincinnati to Houston in the Rule 5. Spencer Miles headed from San Fran to Toronto, Rule 5. And the comeback kid, the good news story of the Philadelphia Philly minor league system, once heralded top prospect, fell out of favor, fell down the ladder, but then scraped and clawed his way back to relevancy last year. Griff McGarry is now on his way to Washington as the Nationals selected him in the Rule 5 draft today as well, signaling the end of what I hope it's something that doesn't come back and bite the Phillies on the ass. Now, McGarry, again, was prominently, one of those hyped prospects a couple years ago, just really struggled with a lot of different things, mainly his command, had a dreadful 2024 season. But really, really came back gangbusters in 2025. Started the 2025 season out in low A with Clearwater, and then worked his way all the way up to Triple A by the end of the season. And was really, really just a very good news story that he kind of fought his way back into relevancy. The Phillies did not protect him. Did not add him to their 40-man roster, thus making him eligible to be selected in the Rule 5 draft. And the Nationals did just that today. And he is no longer a Philly, as he has been selected by the Nationals to join them in 2026. Zach McCambry from Miami is now a Philly from their minor league system. The Phillies selected him in the Rule 5 draft. Yanni Croulet, I think that's the player Michael Papernick was talking about, was actually acquired today from the Phillies, from the Rays, in a trade for minor league pitcher Tommy McCullum, who sort of scratched the surface a little bit last year for the Phillies. Croulet, I think, is a AAA prospect for the Rays. They're actually talking that he may be part of a serious look-see this spring to potentially make the roster. Carter Baumler, formerly of the Pirates, is now a Ranger. He was traded for minor league pitcher Joker Garcia and Kizash, and Alexander Alberto heading to the White Sox from the Rays as a Rule 5 draft selection. So there you go. And then, of course, the big Pete Alonso trade or acquisition has not become formal, is not official, through Major League Baseball. So that is why I'm not officially reporting on that, because even though we know it happened, it has not hit the league office yet. So we're not going to talk about that. But that gets you as caught up as you need to be in the world of the hot stove. Ryan Swub says, "Hey, Ryan, how you doing? Good to see you again, man. Matty, would you rather have Pete Alonso?" God, man. Ryan, listen, thanks a lot for showing back up, man. I don't know where you've been too, man. You've been in and out, flighty. You need to. We spent a long time over the last 2 nights talking about this, but that's fine. I will summarize it for you. I have no problem, because I know it's going to be a conversation and a topic that I will bring up throughout the rest of this offseason as we head into the start of the season. Reason one, no, I wanted him gone. I wanted him gone, and I'll tell you why. One, it eliminates the nonsense in the little power struggle or the control that Kyle Schwarber has on our buffoon manager, Rob Thompson, by telling him where he is going to bat in the lineup. I was really starting to get very excited about not having a season of a player dictating to his manager where he gets in the lineup. I wanted that drama and nightmare to be over with. So I'm tired of looking at Kyle Schwarber, who is, literally born from the Mount Olympus of cleanup hitters, not batting fourth. I'm so sick of it, because for whatever reason he thinks he belongs or is more comfortable batting second, and the buffoon manager listening to him. So yes, for that reason, I wanted him gone. Reason number 2, he represents, not alone, mind you, but he's part of this poster of not working, right? He's the poster child, one of the poster children of this whole idea, this core that has not worked. And you had an opportunity with him to start with to move off of that and to change it. I was all about changing this team's DNA. It's funny, Ryan, it's almost like Phillies fans have forgotten what happened. Not only in 2025, but in 2024 and in 2023. And yes, into some aspect, 2022, that they've already forgotten it. And I'm not saying Schwarber doesn't deserve the money he got or the love he received and attention he received from multiple suitors. Absolutely. But he represents a failed experiment with the Phillies. And he's part of that, along with Harper, along with Turner, Real Muto, Castellanos, Stott, the whole schmear. But you had an opportunity to send a message not only to the Phillies, but to the fan base. And this is where it's really important why I wanted him gone. You had an opportunity to send a message to the fan base by saying, it ain't working anymore. We love you, Kyle. We will always remember you for what you did, hitting nothing but home runs and coming up small in the postseason. We'll always remember that and cherish that. But it's time for us and you to move on to a different experiment. It's another reason why I wanted him gone, because I was big on changing the DNA of this team. And with that signing, it tells me they're running it back, right? Which upsets me to no end. And the other reason is a little bit more versatility. He's a defensive liability, so all he is a DH. That's all he is, man. He's literally a one-trick. You cannot get more one-trick pony than Kyle Schwarber. He's DHing, and he's hitting home runs. There isn't much more to his game than that. And God love him, he's very successful at it. But if I could bring in Pete Alonso, one, it would stick it to the Mets up the ass. Me and Papernick were talking about it a second ago. Can you imagine what that would be like? Phillies Mets with Alonso wearing a Phillies uniform? Is baseball not better when the Phillies and Mets hate each other? Really hate each other? It is. And talk about stoking up that rivalry. Putting Alonso in pinstripes, right? Number 2, Alonso is a right-handed power bat who I don't think would even argue about batting fourth. I think he would look at Rob Thompson cross-eyed if he tried to put him second. Like, what are you talking about, you idiot? I'm a cleanup hitter. And I'm a right-handed bat to protect Pander Boy Harper. Okay? He's a defensive ability, not liability. He can play defense. First base, move Harper to DH. And my last reason to bringing Alonso here, it reverses the absolute catastrophic failure of the Phillies front office in 2016 by drafting Mickey Moniak first overall, where we let Pete Alonso get drafted by the Mets. So that's the reasons why I wanted Pete Alonso over Kyle Schwarber. Was that specific enough? The Phillies' approach to retaining Kyle Schwarber despite questionable decisions is intriguing, particularly given the Orioles' interest in both Schwarber and Pete Alonso. Alonso's abilities beyond designated hitting in the right-handed bat would have been beneficial to the Phillies. And I did not read this before I said it. The Orioles coming away Alonso instead of Schwarber seems fortunate, especially considering the $5 million difference in others, which while Schwarber's presence a lot. Let's talk about the Schwarber presence, because I've heard that a lot today. And I want to entertain that because I think Papernick brought it up too. This intangible leadership quality, allegedly, that Kyle Schwarber brings to the table. Okay, obviously, maybe I don't understand what the new generation considers being a leader, but when you're going down the same road every season and you're getting eliminated in the playoffs the same way every season, and your batters and your hitters are batting and approaching their at-bats the same way that they are every season in the postseason, wouldn't a leader at some point start throwing like coolers around the locker room and tearing off the beer case hat off of Garrett Stubbs' head and throwing the not the boombox, they don't have those anymore, but whatever they were playing their clubbing music on as they're celebrating, would he throw that against the wall and be like, stop swinging at the goddamn ball on the ground? Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Right? What is that? What leadership qualities exactly does Kyle Schwarber have for that baseball team? I don't think that team has a leader. I think that's part of the problem that we have. And I don't really know what those qualities are from Kyle Schwarber. And I've heard that a lot today about this intangible leadership quality of Kyle Schwarber. Well, where the hell was that as this team was making early exits out of the playoffs over the last 4 years? Why wasn't he stopping that? Why wasn't he having a player-only meeting and telling these idiots to stop swinging at balls at their feet? So I'm not buying the whole leadership thing of Kyle Schwarber. I'm just not buying it. I want a Schwarber going. I know you did, Ryan. Me and you pretty much come out on the same side of a lot of these arguments. The Phillies selected pitcher Zach McGill. Yes, he did. I just talked about him. The Phillies not doing anymore yet. No, they will. They will. They're going. They have to. They can sign. First of all, they got to replace. I think they either got to re-sign JT or they got to replace a catcher. Then they got to find out. They got some holes in the rotation. They got to figure out the situation with Castellanos. They got to figure out with Baumstott. There's more work to be done. I'm not saying they're going to splash anymore. That probably is not happening. No, I agree with that, Star Wars. But there's moves to be made still, and there better be moves to be made. We are not a complete team right now. Buffoon managers are going to be my new name for the public. I agree with you all about running it back. I wanted to change the DNA too. Yes, we do, Ryan, and it's very refreshing to hear that. But and again, I want to be very clear. I mean, any team would love a Kyle Schwarber, what he brings offensively. But it doesn't work here. We've seen it for 4 years. It's great. Schwarbombs in June and July, and then ding, ding, ding. Great. But when come October, man, nothing. Right? I wanted a new approach. I wanted a new approach because the window of winning is still here, and we still have players that are very good baseball players. But this model, this exact model that we are literally getting ready to run it back again, one is disrespectful to the fans that the ownership is doing this to me. That all of a sudden they're going to think that it's going to work. And we'll have plenty of time as we get closer to the regular season. And then, of course, when opening day comes on March 27th, and I start talking playoffs on March 27th, and start with they were 1 for 19 with runners in scoring position here today. And let's wait till October when that starts at the end of March. Actually, hell, that'll start in February when we open up our spring training against the Blue Jays. We're going to be thrown right back into it. And we're going to sit there somewhere July, maybe August, and start thinking to ourselves, why are we doing this again? Like what madness is this? Then we're going to get to the end of the season. They're going to get in. And I think Kaepernick has them finishing third. I don't have them winning the division, but I definitely think they're a playoff team, even right now. But it's not about the playoffs anymore. It hasn't been for years. It's about winning a World Series. They are no closer today winning a World Series than they were back in October. And I don't see them getting closer when we get to the start of the season. So, but then we're going to get right back into this cycle of change the damn thing up. We're going to hear Dave Dombrowski say how hard it is to win. What crap is this? It's really difficult to go out there and what the hell were you talking about, man? We're going to hear that again. And then for some odd reason, time is going to separate. We're going to get to Christmas of 2026. We're probably going to be dealing with a lockout by that point anyway, too. But we're going to forget all about it. And we're going to be like, oh, yeah, let's run it back. That works for me. It's a sick cycle, man. Someone's going to have the balls to say it's just not working anymore, and we got to make some moves. But it ain't going to happen in 26. Yep. Should have sent a message. Should have. Wow, I agree again. Oh, man. The Phillies could have moved on to Alonso, and that would have changed the DNA of this team and would have helped Harper out, and he could DH. 100%. It changes the DNA because it changes the dynamic of the team. It puts Harper as a DH. It's a power bat on the right-hand side, protecting him in the lineup. It makes it a little bit more flexible, moving that position around. He's not a defensive liability. It changes that dynamic. Now, does it change the DNA that much? Maybe not. But it does change the dynamic of what the Phillies would look like in 2026. It'd be something different. I wrote what you're about to read first before I just wrote all the other stuff. Oh, man. I wanted Alonso because he's a better all-around player than Schwarber. I think he is too. Yep. And, of course, Kevin Long is still the coach. Again, Star Wars, I don't come out on that side. Kevin Long, the Kevin Padula, the Vic Fangio, the whatever. Listen, I'm a big fan. Maybe less so on the football side because, I think coaching is bigger in football than it is in baseball. I'll give you that. I think the coach's impact on a team is more greater at the football level than it is at baseball. But baseball is such a slow sport. And if you're at the major league level and you're getting tips on how to hit, I don't know. How'd you get here? How'd you get to the major league level? I don't know too many hitting coaches that unlock secrets to hitters' longevity. So I'm not going to bag on Kevin Long. I'm not necessarily going to bag on him for that. I mean, it is what it is. It's familiarity. It's the same thing. I don't know. I don't put that much stock in Major League Baseball hitting coaches. I do put a lot of stock in the managers and the pitching coach. But I don't necessarily put that much stock in the hitting coach. Trade Marsh too. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about him. Schwarberian is the best. The Mets organization right now makes the Phillies organization look like a place of stability and smart moves. Yes, it does right now. But I'm telling you, Papernick, mark my words. Kyle Tucker and Alex Bregman are both going to be Mets by the end of the by the end of this offseason. I'm telling you. Trade stock too. Yeah, and we actually, I'm going to do this tonight. Tomorrow, I'll come at it with you guys tomorrow night. Joe Hale already sort of dabbled into it, but I am going to work up a mock trade. I am the Phillies GM, and I am trading Nick Castellanos, Bryson Stott, and Alec Bohm. Those three players are being moved. I'm going to make up a mock trade of where I'd send them and for what return value I'd get. Because right now, if you take them individually, and hell, you can throw Marsh in there too. If you took them all individually, you're getting pennies on the dime or pennies on the dollar. You're not going to get much. You might get something for stock, but the other two ain't getting you nothing. But if you're able to kind of work a deal where you put all three of them together, or even again with the fourth one with Marsh, if you put all four of them together, what team realistically and what players would you target from that team in a trade proposal? And I'm going to work something up tomorrow. I'm going to think about that, take a look around, see where I would like to move some players and see if I can make that happen. Now, if they did something like that, man, I'd be back on board in a heartbeat. Like, okay, that tells me you're serious about changing. But I don't think they are. Phillies' current projected roster or rotation and bullpen rotation: Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, Luzardo, Nola. Yep. Yeah. Some work needs to be done. Matt Strom, Ryan Kirkman. Yeah, some work needs to be. I saw that today, too. It was on Phillies Tailgate had that. MattyB coming in. What do you think? Like it? Excited? Again, we've talked about this. We still need a right fielder. We still need a right fielder. We still need a third baseman and a left fielder. What about a left fielder there, Star Wars? We still need one of them. Talked about this. Actually, I've been on the MattyB train for years. I've won a MattyB here 2 years ago, honestly. And then I mentioned this earlier shows. Right after Dombrowski spoke to the media, right after the season ended, he said that the Phillies had gone on and created the in-game or on-field MLB coordinator position, and that they were going to move their current bench coach into that position and then open up the bench coach position to an individual with Major League Baseball managing experience. I found that very interesting that they went ahead and did that. Dombrowski hinted that 80% of the teams in MLB employ a on-the-field in-game coordinator, whatever the hell that job is, which he's wrong. It's only about 30% of the teams in baseball do it. So I don't know if he was trying this. Obviously, this is a smokescreen to me to bring in a safety net for Rob Thompson. If he does not get off to a good start, they can make a move a la Rob Thompson, Joe Girardi, or if it completely blows up with another playoff disaster, because they've given Rob Thompson his 2027 extension, which will act as a severance pay for when he gets canned at the end of 2026, they're going to bring in the next manager. So that's why they moved their current bench manager, who had no Major League Baseball managing experience, out of that position in this on infield coordinator job, and opened it up to a guy that's got Major League Baseball experience. Don MattyB is being brought here to be your next manager, and I am 100% on board with it. Love it. Been calling for it for years, and I have the videotape to prove it, and I think it's a great move. It once again shows my expertise in the field of baseball. I love to fly on the wall and listen to the buffoon give advice on anything baseball. You know, I hear he's pretty smart, man. I hear he's a pretty good dude. If we're trading Castellanos, Stott, Marsh, Bone, can the buffoon be thrown in? I don't think we could do that. Cards, yeah, we're going to do the card segment here in a little bit. Pressing manually, family, and that also factors into it as well. Yes. Person manually says Phil's president Dave Dombrowski has spoken to Nick Castellanos. Yes, and I mentioned that they spoke to him and said a change of scenery would be beneficial to everybody. Man, was there anybody actually who thought that he wasn't getting traded this offseason? But yes, a change of. And why would you tell that to the media? Why would you say that? I mean, come on, man. All right, let's get into. Let's wrap this thing up. We are not going to do of the night. We'll hold that on to another. We'll hold that till tomorrow. But we are going to do my favorite segment of the night, the MattyB card review segment. All right, we are here at the MattyB card review segment. And this, of course, is the time of the show where I take a second or two and we talk about one of my many sports cards in my collection. We pay homage to some players of the past. We look at some of the future stars of this game. And tonight, we're going to pay homage to the newest member of the Baseball Hall of Fame. Jeff Kent was elected the other day by the contemporary committee, the Veterans Committee, essentially, of the Baseball Hall of Fame. And he is the first member officially of the class of 2026 to be enshrined in Cooperstown. Now, of course, Jeff Kent, in my mind at least, his glory days were spent mainly with the Dodgers, and then I have some fond memories of him playing in San Francisco. But for those of you that know anything about baseball cards or Jeff Kent, that's not all. He played in Houston, and he actually broke in with the Mets. That was what his first team was. And his first season was in 1993 or 92. Sorry. He broke in 92 with the Mets. So I went through my collection, and actually, very funny. Out of about a 10,000 plus, I mean, I may be closer to 20,000 these days than I was at 10, but at about a 20,000 plus card collection, I own one Jeff Kent card. Couldn't believe it. Out of all of this, I own one Jeff Kent card, and it's absolutely 100% worthless. But to pay respect and homage to a future Hall of Famer, we're going to talk about his card here tonight on the program. So let's bring it up here. It is the 1994 Fleer Ultra Jeff Kent with the Mets. This is his second year card. So this is not his rookie card. I was actually really excited for a second when I looked at it. I'm like, oh, do I got a Jeff Kent rookie? I do not. But this is his second year card. Of course, it really just sort of my luck that not only do I only own one Jeff Kent card, it's a Fleer. It's not even a Topps, but this was I think Fleer's first year, actually, 93 or 90. This would have been 94, but this was their first year of going digital. I believe so. I thought I remember looking it up. I think that's what I read. This was the first year that Fleer abandoned the wax pack and went digital. So this, kind of has a special place in the now defunct Fleer baseball card company. But yeah, I mean, again, it's for no other reason. This card is utterly worthless right now. It's a $2 baseball card. Now, maybe as the smoke clears a little bit about his Hall of Fame selection, this card becomes a little bit more valuable, but it's a Fleer, so it's going to be limited in its value anyway. But again, it's the only Jeff Kent I own, which I think was the more staggering part of my research. Out of all the cards I have one Jeff Kent, which I found very interesting. But here you go. The 1994 Fleer Ultra Jeff Kent second year card when he was with the Mets for the newest Hall of Fame member. And again, I like the layout. I've one of the things that Topps introduced baseball cards to was abandoning borders and just using the entire front of the card, blowing up the picture of the player. Nice little gold, gold lettering down there, gold Fleer logo. Pretty smart looking card. I mean, like for a Fleer card. Now the back of this card is really cool. It's very colorful. It's got a 3-pronged picture of the player. I'll show that to you in a second, but pretty cool looking card. Again, I'm not a big Fleer fan, but first year Fleer digital, and it's a Jeff Kent Hall of Fame card. So there you have it. Tonight's card review is the Jeff Kent Fleer 94. And there it is in its physical form. And here's the back of it. I love the way they did the back on and this was of course, the entire set looked like this. They did this for every card of the Fleer 94 set. I like that back of, the try picture of the player, and then with the stat profile there in the window. This is card number 238 out of the 94 Fleer Ultra set. So there you have it. Congratulations to Jeff Kent for his enshrinement into Canton. Or did I say Canton? Cooperstown. God. They both got to start with a C. And that's going to take me to the end of another great program here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. The final word has come to the end. We are now one more show away from the end of our week. We'll be back tomorrow night at 9. This is our schedule once again for the week. It's up on our social media sites, so for you to take a harder look at it tomorrow. At some point, I will let you know when this will happen. But the Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn, the Gridiron Weekly at 8, final word at 9, and then post-game Flyers Golden Knights at post-game. And then the rest of our week, the world premiere of the Philly Friday Frenzy show, starring our boy Big Al Zafiri. Al makes his return as a permanent weekly host of a sports talk show, and he does it here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network on Friday as host of the Philly Friday Frenzy, Friday at 9. So make sure you're there to wish Al good luck, and let's go. Let's usher in this new era of Philly sports talk. So cannot wait to be listening to that. I may troll. I don't know. I know. Say it ain't so, MattyB. But yeah, I may troll him a little bit. But he deserves it, man. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the troll. All right. We'll talk again tomorrow night. You guys have a great rest of your night. Have a great Thursday. You're almost there. We're almost there. One more day. And then we'll talk again tomorrow night. Take care.